Hello and welcome to the Nordic Takedown podcast. This is Jason, the Captain Kirk, also known as Fun Daddy. And I am here with Humble, or I am Humble, also known as Adam. I can't.
Yeah, that's me.
It
You
feels
got
so. It
by
feels
yourself
so.
introducing yourself.
It sounds so weird calling myself Fun Daddy. It's kind of ruined it, making a little bit more like S&M and stuff like that. But let's not go down that road.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool. Episode 7, and we have a plan. We actually have planned forwards. We made a plan in the past to what we're going to do in the future. We will not disclose how long ago this plan was made, but it's a plan and we're happy with it.
Yeah.
But however, before we get to our plan, should we say what the plan is?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, then we can
like,
do that with it.
we can give it
So what we want to do, we want to kind of start getting a bit technical. We're like 6 weeks, 7 weeks into the game, and there's a lot of tech decks going up. There's a lot of stuff, but the question is, and it's a question I always have when I see something like Jin or Andor or another leader which hasn't had so much love. Like, where do you start when you are building a deck? And so I'm going to be asking Adam, because Adam's had more time with the game than I have. He looked at my layer deck and gave me tips of what to do within like 2 minutes, and I was able to improve my layer deck. So I'm going to give Adam a random hero. I don't know what the hero is yet.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I'm going to open up my folder and I'm going to drop a coin on my page of leaders, and we are going to take a leader and give you an aspect, and then you will build a deck and talk through your choices of what you would do to start off and to get your first 50 cards plus a little bit of a sideboard, and then if we have time you can do the same to me. So that's what you have to look forward to. However,
we need to start talking about the I think very newly released message from FFG.
Yeah, it dropped like
we at least watched it now.
Yeah, it dropped like 20 minutes ago, and we watched it before recording as well.
Very happy we started the recording at this hour and not 1 hour earlier. And then
I know, right? Like so like when this drops, like this is like initial first reaction, no time to think. What happened? What was the announcement?
The announcements basically was, if you take the very positive part, was they actually talked a little bit how much they printed from the beginning of set 1.
Yep.
And if tell me if I'm misquoting, but I think they said that they have sold more of Star Wars Unlimited than they sold of Star Wars Destiny in a year.
No, they have sold more of Star Wars Unlimited, and that's obviously set 1 first print of what they ever sold of Destiny.
Whatever, not only in the first year.
All of Destiny.
I thought they said the first 3 sets. Okay.
It could be the first 3 sets. I took that as the whole of Destiny.
No, 3 sets was basically a year of product. But
enough.
Still.
Okay, yeah.
So basically a year of products in Destiny sold here in, 6-7 weeks of the game.
It's insane.
And I think obviously he wanted to say that because they wanted everyone to know that how much more they printed compared to Destiny, because Destiny had the same shortage issue. But clearly Destiny was produced in an even smaller amount. So the game is super popular, way more popular than they could have imagined, apparently. The positive take is people love this game. People want to get into the game. The negative part is the part when he says they confirmed it that next print of this set 1 will be before the holidays. And that is before Christmas holidays.
Yeah, exactly. I know wrote that before holidays, question mark. And I was like, does that mean before the summer holidays? Because that's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah,
but no, we're talking
it's
before
not worth
holidays.
Making an announcement. It felt like,
No, exactly. If it's just going to come, but it means before the holidays. it's in talking Christmas, and so that means that there will be more set 1 available when set 3 is coming out.
Yeah,
But they also said that set 2 is they're going to up the print quantity of set 2,
yeah, and
which
produce it in
mean
waves. Yeah,
and produce it in waves as well, which means that even by the time that set 3 is coming out and new players are coming in, there's going to be set 1 and 2 product also available for new players to get involved and to keep getting involved, which I
yeah,
think is just really, really good and really good for the future of the game. Yes, we have to wait. Yes, prices might rise a little bit between now and then,
yeah.
but if we think about like the first World Championships
Yep.
is
Next
next
summer.
summer,
Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
So by the time we get around to that and we have all the other competitions, like by the time set 3 is coming out, we're going to have, I don't know, how many leaders, how many different types of decks. And so I feel like set 2 is also going to be quite a good entry point into the game,
Yeah, I
because you're
think.
not going to be that far into the game at the same time. And if you, depending on how much stock you buy, you're still going to want to buy singles anyway, depending on the
Yeah,
deck you want to buy.
I I think it's going to be quite important to get to set 2 fairly quick, because
Yes.
we need product for people to buy in and have some fun with.
Yep.
Because the prices are going to rise with this message. I think.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
people were hoping on like some sort of a reprint before set 2 when they talked about their emergency plan first time. That was
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of nobody really knew. Well, of course they on the inside knew, but uh, everyone else out here did not really know what this emergency plan was like, right?
No. No.
Is it like a big reprint before set 2, or now it sounds like a few boxes a month, maybe for stores
Is it
to
like
keep
3
up
boxes a
play.
month for stores or
Yeah,
something? Yeah. Yeah.
and that is good, but it's not going to help new people get like a bunch of cards,
No.
and it's not going to. There was someone there writing in the discords like that. It's not going to pump up out a lot of Vaders, Lukes, and Boba Fett's into the
No.
market either. So if you want to be competitive in these store showdowns that are coming, you will probably need to pay those unless you already have them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But and I think the most important here is if you want to grow your communities now before set 2 comes out, everyone who bought a couple of boxes, you have so many uncommons and commons that you
Yeah.
don't
Make
need
them
and
available.
use. Um, and a lot of the uncommons and commons, and even some rares, usually some people have extras of,
Yeah.
uh, they are so valuable in like building a decent deck, not necessarily a top deck, but like
No.
a decent deck that can compete a little bit, for these new players to get in. So make a set of those, sell them for like a 10, 20, 30 bucks, or just give them for free,
Mm.
depending on how much, if you want your community to keep growing,
Yeah.
because the stores cannot offer more supply right now.
No.
They can only like host these events, but then the rest of us need to be, you know, scrape up
Yeah.
some. I've sold a lot of mine to new players in Sweden, and I'm working on like a small bunch of things to be able to send to someone as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea. And I think if you're one of those players that really wants to get into the game and you can't find product, you can't find cards, put put a word out,
Yeah,
put a message out there and say, I want to build this deck. Can
give
someone
me
give me some
uncommon,
bulk?
commons, rares. What can I buy?
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
like,
give me these cards. Have an idea of the cards you actually want, and ask people if they've got the commons and stuff like that as well. I've already
yeah,
offered over a load of commons for
or
people.
just like ask for some common uncommons. You see what you get, and then
Yeah,
you might buy some legendaries or rares from the secondary market to match it. So it becomes not these €150 a box, because there
yeah,
are some boxes left. But if you find €150 for no, €150, is that right? Yeah, it is right.
yeah, yep, yeah,
€150.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
around
yeah.
€150 a box. Too much. I get it. I truly do. I would not like to buy a box for that myself,
No,
unless it was like a one-time thing for a draft or something. Otherwise, I would not do that. So I think that is a way to go, and it's a way for every one of us to make use of the cards that are out there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm just looking at Card Market now to see if there's like a any big hikes already before anyone has a chance to change change their cards, but nothing right now. What's a box going for actually?
In Sweden, 1,600 Swedish crown, something around that.
Yeah, that's something that is going on.
I almost did like a mega blunder on like I looked at cases, and then I saw like a case for, was it €1,000, and I was like,
wow,
that's basically €100 a box. That it isn't.
Yeah.
So I put down an order. I was like, this is too insane to be true. I'm buying this, and we can have it in Sweden. I was like, the morning after, I was like, wait, this is the same price or more expensive. So I was like, just cancel the order. Got it canceled.
Well, Card Market, the cheapest English is €139 that you can buy.
Yeah. So
that's going to be the case. But if you have more than one deck, offer that out to give to people. If people are interested in building a deck, help them out
and
give them the cards they need.
Small tip as well: if you just learn the card and you don't want to spend money, you can buy an Italian, Spanish, or German card and play it. I think that's legal in competitive.
It better be legal. I've got a Spanish Luke.
Yeah.
I accidentally bought a Spanish Luke Skywalker because it was a bit cheaper, and I thought, oh, what a bargain, until I received it.
Yeah, and then you saw why.
I have a really good tip for our listeners. When you're buying a card, double check what language it's in.
That's all.
That's my tip.
Yeah,
that's it.
And double check your math when you order something over €1,000.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, we're here to make these mistakes for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Kudos to FFG though. The transparency. It was just like amazing. Like they actually went ahead and they haven't done this before. It took 2 months for them to admit that something happened to Keyforge.
Yeah, and it took. I don't think they ever really put out something on Destiny. It was like if I remember correctly, it was just like basically Twitter statements or something like that. Statement: "This is a problem. We'll get back to you." And then they just keep putting in new dates, and they miss the deadlines every time. So at least the communication is fair. They have a plan. They have shared it. It's not great news right now, but it's great that it's so good.
It's great that it's so good, but it's great that in 6 months' time we're going to be in a good position. Yeah, because like in 6 months' time it's going to be before holidays.
So yeah, we just have to hope that FFG doesn't screw up set 2.
Yes.
Because then it starts being a problem. The first set is always the trickiest set to release.
Mm-hmm.
You never know how popular it's going to be, and they are investing so much money in the first set. Like, say that nobody wants to buy a box, it will bankrupt FFG basically.
Yes.
So the first set is hardest to put out. I expect more on set 2, and I hope they deliver.
Yes.
And for everyone, good luck finding your Italians and the Spanish Luke Skywalkers, and
exactly.
And we'll see you on the tournaments.
Maybe in a few months' time we should start doing Star Wars Unlimited language lessons in, focusing on the cards.
Sure.
What does ambush mean in Italian? What does sentinel mean in Spanish?
Yeah.
I really want to learn Italian. I really do.
Yeah, it feels cool.
Yeah, cool. Should we move on to our next segment?
Let's do.
How's Chewie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to ask that. How's your Chewie?
How's my Chewie?
Yeah. And what have you played anything basically since
I have put together. I've improved my Thorn deck because I now have 3 Bobas. I'm actually quite glad that I have 3 Boba Fett's now. I have no 0 Darth Vaders, but I have Boba Fett's. But they're gonna go. They're gonna start.
So you can play yellow Boba now if you want to be real meta.
Exactly. Or I can put my Bobas in my Thorn deck, which is quite
it.
interesting. But however, Chewbacca, I actually played local OP. Woohoo!
Nice.
Which is great. And my Chewbacca deck, the yellow Chewbacca, what I've done with my Chewbacca is I have taken out when I rebuilt it, I put in a load of Force cards, and so we're talking Forces with me, Luke Skywalker's, I've got Kanan Jarrud's, I've got Jedi lightsabers, a couple of Yodas. I think Obi-Wan, you put an Obi-Wan in there when you were playing off against that as well. So it's always nice to have a little bit extra in there. But kind of going the Force as the attack and the kind of more aggressive stance, but the cunning side, the control, against aggro decks, it's really powerful. Like I played up against a Sabine, and I completely controlled the game. And then in the control matchups, it actually held its own, and it was just down. I think it was down to me not knowing the deck that I was playing. I lost to an Iden, and I lost to a Krennic. No, I didn't lose to an Iden. I lost to a Krennic, and I lost to a Boba. But it was just me not knowing my deck well enough, and me not knowing what the opponent is doing. I didn't really know. I haven't played against Krennic before.
Yeah.
So
and Krennic is rough. They have pretty good late game.
I mean, very good late game. It's just like you. I have my notes. I know I need to be a little bit more aggressive in those matchups, but I feel really good with Chewie deck. It's not going to win everything, but it's really, really fun because if you can get it's the whole thing. If you can get Chewie out, stick a couple of electro staffs on him or lightsabers or whatever, and keep him out, then you just leave him there until he gets attacked, and then you can do your damage. And so, like in a couple of games, I've just put in there, and the games I won is like he's out there. They weren't touching him. They didn't want to touch him. They didn't attack. They didn't do anything. I just left him there. And then I attacked everywhere else, and I didn't touch him until they had to be like, okay, well, something's going to happen here because you're just going to kill me. And so they just attacked me and I won. Like, that's the fun. You need to get to the game state where they're too afraid to even touch the Wookiee.
Yeah. That sounds
so that's what so that's the real fun with it. I did post the deck up there as well. A couple of other people there. Johan Manitorsk, he has a different yellow Chewie where he's cut the Force items and he's put in like Han Solos and Landos and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
So hopefully I'm going to get a chance to play against that one
and just see which one's stronger.
See what suits the difference, because he said he had a reason. He didn't say what the reason was, but he had a reason that he cut the Force stuff because he started with Force stuff. So maybe he's a little bit ahead of me, but I think he actually beat Matthias's Boba with that deck as well. So
that's strange.
Yeah. So that's interesting, but I think Matthias said he had a bad draw as well. So that's kind of how the Chewbacca deck is going. I'm kind of on the verge of wanting to do a proper like tech deck video for it, which I've never done in my life because I don't feel like I'm qualified enough to do it. At the same time, why not?
Yeah, why not?
No one can stop me posting to YouTube.
No, you're like, it's your take on the deck, and you, as long as you're honest about it's not gonna win you worlds, I think it's fine.
I can't promise that.
I think you can. Worlds is not until next year, It has to get more cards, more cards.
Yeah, there's going to be more cards. Yeah, I'll put a couple of Rogues in there.
There will be some real sad cards in the upcoming sets if your yellow Chewie that you built now is going to win Worlds. That's going to be some really crappy.
I mean, set 2 comes along. Mandalorian's going in there. Grogu's going in there. We're going to have so many upgrades that can do that. He can bounty. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I cannot wait for spoiler season for this game because it's going to be a lot of fun. Excellent. Cool. So shall we get on with the main segment?
Maybe. I just want to say that I played quite a lot this week. And I've actually mostly boba.
How rude of me! How rude!
Yeah.
So that
How
was a pretty
rude.
bad
Yeah.
Jar
Yeah.
Jar Binks impression.
Uh,
Sorry, I can't
I
believe
kind of
I
like
actually
Jar
bought
Jar, so
Jar
it's
Jar
okay.
Binks. You like Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah, mostly because people hate him, but because I think it's unreasonable,
Do you know
the
what?
amount of hate.
I
Uh,
was the age where he was allowed to be one of my favorite characters when it came out.
yeah, see,
Yeah,
he's
see,
awesome.
yeah.
Um,
What have you played?
I played so much boba. Uh, Trying to develop the deck, trying
Mm.
uh, work around some new counters that are coming in. But what I would like to talk about, I've been playing. I actually built another, just built a Luke deck. Luke Green.
Luke Green.
Um,
Yep.
I've faced it a lot, like in the beginning of the set, like on TTS and stuff. And now I just built it because I've gotten myself 2 home ones, so I just proxied 3 Luke because I have 0, and then built the deck. And I must say, like, playing blue hero side is very funny. Like, it's
Fun.
satisfying in a
Yep.
way,
Yep.
It was like I got a little bit inspired after playing your blue yellow chewie, like, because it was the force users, it was
Yeah.
Kanan, it was some lightsaber.
I mean, Kanan is so strong. Give Kanan a lightsaber, man, he's strong.
Yeah, so so I just played that actually, and I was like really surprised on how I feel a lot better playing Luke Skywalker as a 7-drop than I play Vader as a 7-drop.
Yeah.
I would not think that was the case until I started playing it. And I had very good results with it. I think I went 5-1 on that evening, and just a very fun deck. Obviously, only against Han Solo. Like, that was the match, the person I was playing. But like, the deck was really fun, and I see why so many want to make Luke work.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now we can move on to the main section.
No, yeah, sorry. Sorry. I get so distracted by Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chewie is
that's
amazing.
cool, and like kind of exploring more decks, exploring more stuff. Like, yes, we want to get good at the ones we've got, but by the time we get to the real competitive level, there's going to be so many more cards.
Yeah.
So we can't get really protective over having a complete deck at this stage of the game if we're going to be really competitive anyway. So that's quite good, which is a really good segment onto our actual main stuff. And so where I'm going to give you one hero, and I'm going to give you an aspect, and I'm not going to make it purposely hard or purposely easy. I'm going to go as random as I completely go, and
we'll see with anticipation. I just feel it's gonna be like, the super hard or the super easy.
Yeah, exactly.
If you get Boba Green, I think we change.
Yeah. If we get one that we've even talked about before, or not, well, should I just take Boba out? And the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to I've got all my bulk leaders here.
Yep.
Okay, so our pool of leaders, is we've got IG-88, Grand Inquisitor, and Cassian Andor.
Yep.
In red, we've got Jyn Erso and Han Solo. We've got Hera and Tarkin and Chirrut.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
So I'm going to shuffle these cards up and try and not ruin my hyperspace Andor.
Yep. It's probably worth so much.
Yeah. Well, it is now. Now, after the announcement, it's going to be like 100 euros, isn't it, after the thing? And completely random, you are going to have Hera Syndulla.
Hera Syndulla. Okay. Yep.
Excellent. Cool. Now, this is going to be interesting because I'm trying to build a Hera deck. I'm trying to make her work. She's quite lazy.
Yeah.
And a keep. And 1, 2.
Problem with Hera is I think you can only build her with one aspect.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough thing here. Green and red. There we go. 4 bases, and
please give me the green one. Please give me green.
Blue.
Blue, that is so bad.
Which is actually the Hera deck that is not working for me right now. So your reaction says it all.
Yeah, like, okay, I'm gonna emphasize why I think you should only play with green first.
Yes.
Because Hera ability is like you can play specters, and there is no specter that is green and white.
Nope.
So you can just double in on the green, get command in the deck, which is a super good card. So that's the reason why you would do that, and you can still play Kane and everyone.
Yep.
But all right, now we're playing blue anyway, which is not ideal. I think we're gonna start with the 30 HP base, because I think the shield base is crap.
Yes,
unless you're playing Grand Inquisitor or something like that.
Yep. So we'll go with the Dagobah Swamp.
Yeah, Dagobah Swamp. Yeah, or is it a command center? No, what's it called?
No, command center's green.
Okay, the other blue one. You can use that one as well if you want to be more villainy of you.
Yes.
So, like, basically, what you would want to do here, like, since it's Hera, you will start with just adding the specters.
Yes.
Like, there is no reason why you wouldn't add the specters to the deck, in my opinion. They are all ground units and ghost. So that is going to be like Sabine. What's his name? Seb.
You got Sabine, you got Chopper, Ezra Bridger, Kane and Jarrus, and Zeb Aurelius.
Thank you.
I completely haven't been watching Rebels recently.
And this is so hard in the deck building thing, because it's like it's the colors where you're not allowed to take from in the beginning. So it's Sabine, Chopper, Seb, as you said, Chopper, Metal Menace. That's a pretty good name. Ezra as well, right?
Ezra Bridger,
which is pretty good card, actually. And then Kanan, and end it with Ghost, basically.
Sure. Yep. Yeah.
So that is the start of the deck, in my opinion. That is what you should be working at.
Yep, and you also have event cards, which is Spark of Rebellion.
Is that Spectre?
That's Spectre, and then you also have Carabast.
Oh yeah,
which is the dealing damage. Choosing a friendly unit, and you deal the amount of damage on that card. You deal that much damage +1 to an enemy unit.
Yes, and of course, my deck building thing is messing up. But yes, you add all the Spectre things as well, the events as well that are off color. Spark of Rebellion, I think, that is off color, and it's a really good card. And now I get confirmation it's not my fault. The SCVW is coming up with "May the Force be with you," Doctor Who, and then it's Spock. Just to insult us Star Wars fans. Kind of hilarious. But after just that, this is just basically how you build Hera. You start there. Otherwise, when you start building a deck, I feel like you have to start with your win condition.
Yes.
How are you going to win the game? Are you going to win it early, late, or like in the mid game, basically? So in this case, I would probably go for like a mid game-ish plan for Hera, since like she's a sort of late unit, like coming on turn 6. I think it is 6 resources.
She comes out in 6. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, her thing is on attack you may give an experience token to another unit, and that is only when she is a leader unit. So that's only when she's out. She has no actual ability when she's the leader.
Oh yeah.
Apart from just allowing you to play Spectre cards out of aspects.
Yeah. True. So she's like has the passive, just like Krennic basically.
Yes.
So we have to look at some mid-range stuff because hero side does not have the ultimate late game. The villain side has those things, right?
Yes.
The villain side has Super Laser Blast, Avenger, and those type of cards. So we need to be like punching hard in the mid game. Since we have blue, we are definitely playing Luke Skywalker because he's amazing, in my opinion. We are also going to play U-Wing Reinforcements because that is also a bonkers card. So that is our
bonkers. Yep.
Yeah, our 7 drops basically.
Yep.
So we are also, if I didn't mention it, since we're playing green, we're playing resupply.
Yes.
That is a little bit too good to ignore, in my opinion.
But would resupply still work? I guess actually, you know what? I agree with resupply because you need to get Hera out as quick as possible.
Yeah, and since we're not doing the aggro, we're not trying to be super fast. We just want to reach the end game, like as fast as the mid game as fast as possible, to put some pressure. A little bit like Boba. This is gonna be a worse Boba in a way. But it's mostly because Hera is not as good as Boba.
Yeah. By a
surprise,
long way.
surprise! Hera is not as good as Boba.
Give us a spoiler alert. I mean, come on.
So, like with all the Spectre cards in, which is just a start. When you're testing the deck later, it might not be all the Spectre cards if you don't find them useful, And with events, so we are on 30 cards right now. So we have spots for like 20 more. We are going there is like 2 cards I would like to more late game emphasize it. It's going to be the big spaceship Home 1, and then it is I think I would like because this deck does not have like some amazing card draw yet. It has Ezra Bridger but nothing else. I would also go with like reinforcement walkers, because that card is also disgusting. I would not main deck 3 of Home 1 and 3 of the walkers.
No.
I would like maybe play 2 walkers and 3 Home 1s, or 2-2, and then both in the sideboard, something like that. But right now I'm just putting 3 in because we're starting it. Then we kind of need to round out the deck with like maybe some tricks, maybe some control, some events. We have the Carabast, of course, that is like some sort of a removal. We do have Spark of Rebellion. That is more to disturb the opponent's plan, right? Which will help us like in the mid-range matchups. You can play this one early because you yourself do not really care about the early game, but you can snipe out a mid-game Steadfast Battalion, or like a resupply, so you can ramp and he cannot. Those things to put you ahead. In the aggro, you don't want to play this card. Just get it out when it's from the sideboard.
I think you need to main deck, if you're going in there. You'd main deck 1 and then have 2 in sideboard.
So, and then we're gonna go with some obvious stuff. Like right now, we have Chopper and Sabine as a low thing. It's super easy choice to just add the Marine. The Battlefield Marine is so good. 3/3 for 2. Just slam it in the deck. I think you should have 2 or 3 Akbars in the deck. Like he's also really good in the U-Wing reinforcements later. Then I do think we need to start looking at the event cards, because blue has some events that we just can't ignore. It has Vanquish and Takedown. We kind of need to utilize, like we need to have a reason why we play blue, right? So it's going to be the Vanquish, the Takedown, and Luke Skywalker. makes some pretty good cards.
Yep.
So if we were to play 3 of everything I've said right now, we're at 51 cards.
Yep, sure.
There would be some tweaking with this, some to the sideboard, some to some other place.
Yep. Yep.
I am going to, like, there is one more card I think we should really have in the deck, and I think that is Echo Base Defender right now. It's pretty solid, and then there is, like, I think you would want like maybe 2 Mon Mothmas to draw these rebel cards. You need the draw. You need the draw. You're laughing at me.
Have you? No, I'm thinking like, have you been looking at my deck that I have in my hand here? Because you've basically, I have a blue Hera because that's what I started with, and you've basically named every single card in this current
I've never
deck.
seen your deck in my life.
No, exactly. You haven't. But I'm going to comment on this in a second. This is really interesting.
And then I would put, like, sideboard wise, Colonel Yularen, I think, in the sideboard to add in for the aggro matchup. Maybe the Consortium Viper, for the aggro matchup. And then I would also add, like, have 1 Treacherous in the deck.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have Treacherous. You need to have Treacherous.
1 or 2.
Got green.
And that is basically the deck. That's the deck you can start with and start playing, and then try to refine. Maybe you go on the 25 HP base because you really want to put a shield on something, on Hera, maybe. So she can give out the experience tokens. But that is how I would start building the Hera.
No, it's interesting that Hera Blue came out because I've been putting a lot of thought into this, because this was the first deck that I actually put together because I wanted to, I thought it was a fun thing. I wanted to make it work, and I thought it's an easy start, like you said, like you just add all the Spectre cards and you've already got 26 cards for your deck. Yeah, that's fine. And then I went with blue, and the reason I went with blue, I did for my one. I didn't go with Luke Skywalker, but with Kanan Jarrus, I thought you need to give him the lightsabers. You need the upgrades. So I had that. I had the Electro Staffs, because you also need Hera to. She needs to come out early, and she needs to stay on the board.
Yeah. You want her. Well, you want her to stay on the board, but leaders usually you cannot trust them to stay forever.
They're not going to stay forever, no. But if she can come out and she can give, like, Kanan experience, because Kanan obviously heals, and so that's the angle that I went there. I definitely think Luke's the way to go, but I would try and put in lightsabers in that one there. If you don't trust Carabast, there's Strike True. Which costs 1 more, but you've got a bigger hit. You're kind of guaranteed to have a bigger hit, because Strike True is,
I think another card you can add in is Fleet Lieutenant. That is just such a good card. You have Fleet a lot Lieutenant. Of rebels in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that one is supposed to be in here. I'm not sure.
I have Rebel Assault, 3 Rebel Assaults, and I also have the 2 Mon Mothmas. I was like, wow, like you just kind of calling this out. Echo bases, resupplies, wing leaders, the Donners, fleet lieutenants. I call that the rebel package. Etc. So like if you especially get Hera out, put a wing leader down, give it experience, give her experience so she can give other people experience and stuff. And like Hera and Kanan can actually be quite a good stuff. And I think, like, especially like if you're going blue, you can have the upgrades.
Yeah, and I see that I didn't check super totally in space. Obviously, you're playing Bright Hope, right?
Bright Hope. That's the forecast.
Yeah, the forecast.
No, that's definitely, because if you can Bright Hope onto Mon Mothma, which you can pick up the cards that you can.
Sometimes you want to do it on what's his name, Akbar as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then you don't need, like, whenever I play this deck, I've been told it's tough to get Zeb out. So like I'd maybe sideboard a couple of Zebs, but Vanquish takedowns. I think you.
Yeah, I think Zeb is like if you play double green with Hera, which I like, you
Yeah.
can get ECL, and with ECL, Seb is really good.
Yeah. Yes.
Without it, he becomes a lot weaker. So maybe in the blue version, he's sideboarded or something, or not even in it.
Yeah.
It could be.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would put one main deck, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, especially I kind of learned from the Cantina Brawl in Manatorsk is that actually, if you've got a card that you've got in your sideboard that could be good in, you're not sure if you're going up against, just
Yeah.
having that option of like the one Spark of a Rebellion, the one Zeb, stuff like the one Vanquish, even if you're not, at least give you the option to have it,
Yeah.
and then go
Yeah.
bam, okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
smacking the other two. Yeah, I kind of I with my layer deck, I'm like main decking the Traitorous now because it was such a valuable card. When it comes out, it's such a valuable card.
Yeah. Treacherous is like really good in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Obviously, there is some counterplay to it, but most people are not running the counterplay,
No,
so
no.
it's uh, it's good. It's good.
Cool. Okay, so that was Hera Blue. You covered
Yeah.
like your so just kind of go over this again
Yeah.
because there's been a lot of kind of talk backwards and forwards. So your game plan is to win mid game,
Yeah.
and so that's and your win condition is
My win condition is hopefully first there's like a double wave, the
yeah
Hera round when Hera comes out, and hopefully Ghost, like Ghost is so good,
yeah
that card. uh, it has like when played and on attack you may give a shield token to another Spectre unit, and it
yeah
comes out shielded. So it's very
nice
good against barrage plays as well, because shields are really good against that. uh,
yeah
so first wave of that into like the 7 resource wave with Luke Skywalker, or the Ewing reinforcements,
yeah
where you like put the game in such a pressure that the opponent can't really catch up and you can get the damage in. Then you have like home 1 and reinforcement walker, maybe to like close out some stuff as well. Uh, and like maybe win against the late game decks before they just hit their peak.
yeah
I think that is how it's played. We do not care too much about the early game, uh, like
no
Sabine, Battlefield Marine, and Chopper. Those are nice, not
yeah
necessary.
they
Against
can hold they
aggro,
can hold it yeah
against aggro, real good, but like they are not the core of the deck.
no
So that is how it's played out. We would probably want in our start hand most important card resupply. You
yeah
can't get that every time, but
no
uh, that is like I think now when I'm thinking about it even more, I would probably add like regional governor as a 2-drop to deny stuff resupplies or something from
yeah
another
yeah
player. But yeah, there is a lot of cards that could go in.
yeah
But yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, like regional governor, those kind of cards, they're also meta based. So it's like,
yeah,
what's the local meta? What is there a lot of? Like, I played regional governor. I've actually put regional governor in my Chewbacca deck because, as well as Spark of Rebellion, because they can counter the Vaders, overwhelming barrages, etc. Those big villainy cards where you just ruins your game.
yeah,
So if you can stop them playing it, or clog up their hand, stop their game, it's another way to do that. It's like but it's like with Hera, you've got the possibility of so many different identities.
yeah, yeah,
Like you can it's almost kind of thing. Well, you either go green and make use of everything, or you give it the idea. You choose one or two of the other specters and
yeah.
you go with that. Maybe, but there's been so much conversation about Hera. Like, what do you do with Hera? Like, how do you make her good? So it's quite interesting that she's the one that came out of this one.
Yeah. And I don't think she's terrible,
No,
but I do think she is. When she flips, she's a little bit too weak
yeah,
in general. But this is like that is the way you have to think about her, I think. And I do think with all the shielding with from the ghost and stuff, She is actually in my testing. My Boba Fett is not doing good against Hera.
No.
I'm just gonna say that. I think Hera is not good, like maybe against Leia and stuff, but she does fairly well into Boba Fett.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can see that. Yeah.
So if you just want to be nasty to some Boba Fett players, you could work on a Hera deck.
Yeah. But I think you could need to like not be scared of just culling some of the team, culling some of the Spectre team, and just adding more in of what is good to get her. Like
just make a good deck of it.
She make good deck. Her thing is on attack, give experience token to the unit. She's the one that needs to hit the base.
Yeah.
To give other people, to boost other people, to do other stuff. So she needs to be shielded. You need to get her out early as possible, and yeah, you've got to do as much. So you kind of have to take the deck around that one. If I can put my 2 cents into this.
Yeah, probably right. I haven't. Yeah. I played a little bit of her in the beginning, super early, but yeah, it was fun. Just trying to do this on the fly. I thought would be more
on the fly.
Like
we've been talking about this for 3 days.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
On the fly, I didn't know I was gonna get Hera.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So that was nice. I think, but if you don't necessarily love deck building or want to make your own deck, it is way easier to net deck.
Yeah, and there is no. I mean, that's the thing. This part of the game, there is no shame in net decking.
No.
But don't also be like, net deck, find something you enjoy doing, you enjoy playing, and then tweak it to your local meta, tweak it to what you enjoy doing. Like I one of the last week against the Malatoshko P, I played a guy who played the Krennic, and he completely destroyed me. And he opened up Krennic. He played it on the he actually started the deck in a draft. He really liked the base of it, and then he just added to it, and he's just built it for what he likes, because that was his style of play. He knows the deck, he knows exactly what's coming. Deck knowledge, I think, deck knowledge is, and knowing your deck is so much more important than having a good deck on paper.
Yeah, and I think, like as you say, you can do all the routes. I prefer net decking, and then just tweak and make it like make someone else figure out the core concepts of the deck, and then see where he has overlooked some things, or make sure I'm facing this now, I need to change this. You can't just net deck and think that it's going to work every time.
No, it's
because
not.
you need to change stuff usually a little bit, and then you still need to have the game time with the deck. So the most important thing is to just grind the deck to make sure what works for you and against the people you play against.
Yeah, excellent, cool. Well, I think that's all we have got time for tonight.
I think so.
Like, that was a good conversation. If you enjoyed this format, if you enjoyed just taking a hero and just try and do something on the fly, let us know, and we'll try and do it again. Because I enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Like a couple
all credit to Jason. It was his idea. The captain was steering the ship right this time.
Thanks. So compared to the other times,
yes. That was implied. I didn't want to insult you like straight on.
Just a kind of a back slap around the back of the head. But that's the fun of this game. It's such an early game. Like, World Championships again is next year.
Yeah,
we've got sets coming out. Like, this is the time that you experiment with the game. If you're in the game this early, experiment with it, have some fun. There is no wrong answers.
No. And there is no mega big tournaments right now anyway, so...
No, exactly. So enjoy playing, enjoy the meta, just get experience playing the game and learning the rules, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Have fun, and then get stressed when you're at the World Championships. Easy.
Easy. Yeah.
How's that for advice, right?
Such a good advice. There is no other tournaments in between. It's just the World Championships and nothing else.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Especially for us European minded, the World Championships is not at all going to be in America or something like that. No.
I mean, it's going to be the center of the world, isn't it? So.
Yeah. So the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the core is going to be really warm.
Yeah.
Or the Manitosh Bank Vault.
Oh yeah,
That's
that
also
would be
quite warm.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that
was
was
quite
good.
warm.
But that would be quite good to have the World Championships here in Ecuador. That would be great
That
because
would be so cool. Yeah.
yeah, that would be really cool. Excellent. Yeah.
Unlikely.
So yeah, that's it for episode 7. Thank you
Yep.
all so much for sticking with us
Tonight.
and listening to the end of the episode. Thank you, Adam, for dealing with what I've thrown at you.
Yep. You're welcome. It was
I
funnier than I thought.
gave you the tough one, and you were like,
Yeah.
you know, you didn't get gin
No,
because you know
that would have been worse. Yep. Yeah.
I could have given you blue gin also.
Yeah. Might come on a different episode.
But that is your homework for next episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it for this. We'll see you same time next week. We're aiming for Thursdays every week as a drop, 7 a.m.
Yep.
in the morning European time, to drop the episodes. We're doing our best to keep up with that. Give us the feedback, give us your thoughts, give us the praise, give us the
hate.
You hate.
The anger.
etc. Rate us. The biggest thing you could probably do for us is actually rating us on the platforms as well, because that gets us more stuff, and we really like to begin to grow our presence outside of Sweden as well. We've actually only got 56% of our listenership in Sweden, so we're kind of getting out there around the world as well. But yeah, that's cool. Until then,
may the force be with you.
May the force be with you, and good night.
Good night.